Hey man, Devil Horn salute. I actually got a reaction out of this. Thank you to everybody who's watched and left comments. It's like a 33 hits, which is cool. I mean, I didn't even have to pimp the algorithm. 3 likes and people had left comments, including the Cav Scout. Hooah! So, I can't write a book. Let me just start this. I'm doing like I'm sick and I'm on a new medicine, and right now I feel kind of good. I've been sick all day. It's still hot outside. I'm waiting for the temperature to go down so I can kill my AC unit and open up some windows and get some fresh air. So how you like the battle lighting back here? You remember that movie Platoon? They're all partying down there in their bunker. So when we're talking about drug abuse in the Army and coming down in basic training. Yeah, so let's start in the beginning. When we were kids, we grew up with this Vietnam thing. And they were known to be druggies in Vietnam. These guys were getting high and killing fucking VC and all this other shit. I could use some derogatory terms, but YouTube frowns on that G word and all that, and it's not nice. But we could, but we won't. So we grew up in this culture. And then the draft stopped in 1973, and that kind of changed. So the Army through the 70s still had a drug abuse problem. Well, we're growing up in the 70s. All us kids, we were wearing fatigues. This was before the days of stolen valor. I mean, you used to see kids going to school all the time wearing fucking Army fatigues, patches, sergeant stripes, all kind of shit. USMC, when the Marines used to stamp the patch on the pocket and shit. Oh yeah, everybody was wearing this shit, you know, if you were kind of geared that way. I spent my whole life around woods. And information was not like it is today. I never thought about maybe pursuing some kind of skill for a job. It's just all you do in the military is carry a rifle and blow things up and kill things. So that mentality was there. So I always grew up around woods. I was 16 when I first tried to get into the Army. I'd run away to home. I spent the night in a tree house, and then I had to take a shit that morning, and I learned a lesson before I ever went in. My first Army lesson, I had to wipe my ass with an American flag, no shit. And that should have been a red flag right there, but... So yeah, I'd take a shit, wipe my ass with an American flag, and I got high. I was 16, I walked down to the Army recruiter's office, says, I want to enlist. I want to drop out of high school and enlist. Back then, you could drop out of school and go into the military. All you did, have your parents sign a piece of paper and off you went. And if you were lucky, you could make a career out of this. There was a lot of people that dropped out, did 20 years and retired. That was kind of a thing. That was slowly vanishing with the drug use thing. So now they told me that tomorrow, the very next day, wannabe dropout, we're no longer taking dropouts, and the only thing you're going to do is drive a fucking truck. And I'm like, no, I want to go infantry. Well, you're going to have to wait. So they showed me this really cool Special Forces video and shit, and I walked back home and apologized to my mom and all that. I got in a lot of trouble on a motorcycle. I did a lot of drugs when I was 17. And see, there's this drug culture going on. I used to run around as a kid. I had this big fatigue thing. It was an olive drab fatigue shirt, and I cut the sleeves off and had big pockets and shit. So I looked like some Vietnam guy as a kid going around to it. And I think I had that look all the way up till high school. But when I was 17, I had a motorcycle and I was riding around. I was on a lot of drugs, you name it. And I was on it. And we're leading up to the Army because, forget, we still have a drug culture in the Army. I think the rumor back then was that there was heroin and hash in Germany, and they used to call the 82nd Airborne the jumping junkies. There was a big accident back in the 70s. I tried to look at it the other day. It was in the news, man. Somebody was in a depression doing wind readings, and he fucked these guys up on a jump. And a couple toe jumpers. A bunch of them ended up in the hospital, but that's old history. So I got into a motorcycle wreck. I think I might have had a concussion. Nobody checked me, and I got in a lot of trouble at home. I got in a lot of trouble legally. Thank God my stepdad bailed me out. There was some fines there and some jail time that I was threatened with, and my stepdad bailed me out, and I was in deep shit. I just turned 18. I just turned 18. I needed to pee. I was on a bike. I was going too fast, and I got my first speeding ticket, which led up to my first motorcycle wreck. Long story, I'll leave that out. So that was in October, a couple of weeks after my birthday. So no, I went December down while I was high as fuck. I did. Well, I was high as fuck. I went and enlisted. I went down to recruiter and says, back then you had to be real clear about what you wanted to do, or they were going to fuck you. It was pretty shady back then. It was pretty shady back then. Anybody around that time knew that, signing up. I mean, you could ask for one thing and end up doing another thing. It happened to me. So no, I'm going infantry or no go. And I went and I took all the tests. I peed in a cup. And so I'm going in that back room after I did all the physical and all that. And they go, what do you want to be? And I go, I want to be a ranger. I didn't know about jumping out of airplanes. I just thought of that long-range reconnaissance patrol. That's what I wanted to do, was recon. That's kind of what I grew up around with. I was always in the woods, small team shit. A recon movie kind of turned me on to this idea. And they go, well, here, you're infantry with an airborne option. Okay, so I never knew about an airborne ranger. I just thought these rangers did long-term patrols. So the whole time leading up to me leaving in July, that was December, so now it's 1983. Happy fucking New Year. You just enlisted in the Army, you dumbass. You're getting ready to graduate high school, and I'm not doing too good my senior year. I think when I was 18, after I signed up, that was the first time I shot up. Oh yeah, when I do these things, I'm going to admit some bad shit about myself. I'm not trying to lie or paint a pretty picture about any of this. This is just what happened to me. Yeah, I think it was the first time I was just in the right place, right time with a friend. I think it was first time it was coke. They fucking nailed me and I went to the roof. Oh, and they gave me the trash on the spoon, mouth went numb. Then I think I did crystal meth the second time. So that fucked me up kinda. And then I was doing everything you could imagine under the sun, acid, cranks, whatever you want to call it. And we were always smoking weed all the way up till the day I had to report to the recruiter's office. We had so many parties down at my friend's house that old man Culberson asked, gee, is he really going in there? And I was like, yeah, man, we're leading up to it. So we're this last generation that could do that. Because by the time I left in 1985, they were piss testing the guy the minute they come in through the door. Let me check my time here. I can't go over too much. I ain't doing too bad. So yeah, 1985, man, the minute you got in the door, they're piss testing. But nah. We was that last little group. I think they were doing some kind of experiment. We'll never fucking know. We'll never know what the fuck they were thinking about us or what. Because the minute you got off the bus, they were trying to kick you out. Period, exclamation point. So anyway, partying like it's 1999. I'm smoking dope. I'm dropping acid. I spent the night with a friend. I didn't party too. I had some beer and I smoked a little weed at home when I got there, and I wasn't on nothing hard. And show up down at the recruiter just wiped out. Yeah, my mom let me drive a Cadillac down to the recruiter. I was just fucking wiped out. Get down to the place where you go and you get a taxi and you go fly in your airplane. You take your final drug test, and I gave him a good sample, and I failed it. So anyway, the taxi cab driver was pretty fucking cool, and bought a 6-pack of beer. We're sitting there, we jump on the plane, all fucked up, all just fucking trashed. So we get to Atlanta, and I'd run into some guy, and he's sitting there trying to warn me, you know what you got yourself into? I think the guy next to me don't. I got a fair idea. I've been around people all my life that had been in, and things didn't work out. Sometimes it did. There's other stories. There's so much to tell. And I only have a few minutes to squeeze something into a video like this. There's so much to tell. So many people, so many different things that play into this. And this is just pretty much the drug part. And so I'm on a plane, and I get to Fort Jackson, and guess what? I'm coming down. Yeah, I'm going through, and nobody, I don't know if they realize this or not. Back in early 80s, talking about addiction like I'm talking now after I've been through treatments and shit, nobody did that. Okay, so maybe here we are, the druggies coming fresh out of high school, all fucked up. We're all coming off of drugs now, and everybody's having different reactions and shit. And yeah, so it never dawned on me that I was coming down off of drugs and basic, and God, all I wanted to do was get high. And what was bad about basic is they strip you of everything, from your identity to your Pepsi, to your cigarette, to your chocolate candy bar, to the Burger King, to McDonald's, whatever, you're strictly their property, and you're going to do what the fuck you're told, and you're going to eat what they tell you to eat. Finally, you get some liberties. You can have a chance to smoke a cigarette, and when they gave us that right to smoke a cigarette, even though I wasn't a cigarette smoker, I still smoked it because it was a privilege. But yeah, coming down off of drugs, I think a couple, 3 weeks. I mean, I didn't really know. I was kind of like in shock the whole time. Oh, trust me, I was the guy that the assistant drill, a little bitty guy named J.D. Dilbeck. Oh, Jesus, fuck me, God. No, he zeroed in on me right off the bat and ripped me a new ass. And for about 8 weeks, you know that movie, A Full Metal Jacket with Gomer Pyle? I was Gomer Pyle for 8 weeks. In fact, I come up with a name, Pigpen, another video. Oh yeah, well, you can get some interesting names, and some of them ain't nice. Pigpen, how about Brown Eye? Hey, Brown Eye, shit, nice, but what do? You roll with it? No. Coming down off of drugs, I had a good time in basic training. I could tell I was off a little bit, kind of hazy, but, you know, and a little slow in learning all of a sudden. I mean, I dropped a lot of acid. I dropped a lot of acid as a kid, smoked a lot of good weed, did a lot of drugs. I did a lot of drugs. So now we're coming down. So when I got home after jump school, I didn't do nothing. I think I got high once, and that was it. And then when I got back on my last leave, and I'm going to finish up, I know I'm running out of time. So no, when I got back in June of '84, I took leave. I had some personal problems at home, and I got high. The minute I got down to my friend Joe's, we started getting high. I don't remember much after that. And my old girlfriend, I never saw her. Jody done stole her. It's true. Jody does steal your fucking woman. So I got high, and then right before I left back for Fort Rucker, bought an ounce of weed, stashed it downstairs. So when I got home, January of 1985, I'd warned my parents, I'm coming home, and it's, well, you know, I watched a lot of people get discharged on drug abuse. Cocaine, pot. There was even one guy that stole a fucking car, man. I'm sure he was high as fuck. Oh yeah, I'd seen careers, I mean, people just ruin it, smoking weed and shit. No, there was still a drug problem, but Reagan and Nancy were gonna clip it out. So if you've watched this is cool. Can you imagine coming down off of drugs, not really realizing what the fuck's happening to you? Now you're stuck in the fucking Army basic training, and they've stripped everything from you. And here we go. So Horn Salute, thanks for watching. I'm just kind of seeing what we get for views. Actually, not bad, man. It's 13 minutes, so I'm gonna let go. Thanks. Hit that like and subscribe, and if you guys like this, I'll tell some more stories.